Personal by Lee Child. Read by Kerry Shale. 8 days ago, my life was an up-and-down affair. Some of it good, some of it not so good, most of it uneventful. Long, slow periods of nothing much, with occasional bursts of something, like the army itself, which is how they found me. You can leave the army, but the army doesn't leave you, not completely. They started looking 2 days after some guy took a shot at the president of France. I saw it in the paper. A long-range attempt with a rifle. In Paris. I was 6,000 miles away, in California. I went to San Francisco for a couple of days, and then to Portland, Oregon for 3 more, and then onward to Seattle, which took me close to Fort Lewis, where 2 women in uniform got out of the bus. They left an Army Times behind, 1 day old. The Army Times is a strange old paper, full of yesterday's news and how-to articles, but the obituaries are occasionally interesting, which was my sole reason for picking up the paper. But on the way to the obituaries, I found the personal ads, including one with my name in it. Right there, center of the page, printed bold, Jack Reacher, call Rick Shoemaker, which had to be Tom O'Day's work. O'Day had been around forever. A tall, gaunt, cadaverous man, he was no one's idea of an army general, more like a professor. His thinking had been sound. Reacher stays under the radar, which means buses and trains and diners, which is the natural habitat for enlisted men and women who buy the Army Times, and can be relied upon to spread the paper around. And he could rely on me to pick up the paper, eventually. He would maybe think 10 or 12 weeks of personal ads might generate a realistic chance of success, but it worked the first time out. Rick Shoemaker was Tom O'Day's second-in-command. I owed Shoemaker a favor, which O'Day knew about, obviously, which was why he put Shoemaker's name in his ad, and which was why I would have to answer it. Seattle was dry when I got out of the bus. Wi-Fi hotspots and handheld devices were everywhere, which made payphones hard to find. But there was one down by the fish market. So I stood in the salt breeze, and I dialed a toll-free number at the Pentagon. A number learned by heart long ago. I asked for Shoemaker, and after a bunch of clicks, Shoemaker came on the line and said,
"Yes?"
"This is Jack Reacher," I said.
"Where are you?"
"Don't you have machines to tell you that?"
"Yes. You're in Seattle by the fish market, but we prefer it when people volunteer the information. What do you see directly ahead?"
"A street," I said.
"Left?"
"Places to buy fish."
"Right?"
"A coffee shop." He said,
"Go in there and wait."
"For what?"
"For about 30 minutes,
he said, and hung up. The coffee shop had a menu full of things that don't really belong in coffee, like dairy products and weird flavorings and many other pollutants. I got a plain house blend, black, and a slab of lemon pound cake to go with it. The cake lasted 5 minutes, and the coffee another 5, and 18 minutes after that, Shoemaker's guy showed up, which made him Navy, because 28 minutes was fast, and the Navy's right there in Seattle. The guy's briefing must have been basic, but he had me at 6'5", 250. Everyone else in the shop was Asian. The guy walked straight toward me and said,
"Major Reacher?"
I said, "Not anymore."
"Mr. Reacher, then?"
"Yes."
"Sir, General Shoemaker requests that you come with me."
The guy drove me downtown and got on I-5 heading south, the same way the bus had come in. We passed Tacoma and slowed, ahead of where the women had gotten out of the bus. We took the same exit. Chances were therefore good we were heading for Joint Base Lewis McChord. I was expecting a little back and forth at the gate, but such was the power of O'Day, we barely had to slow the car. We swept in and hooked to left, and hooked to right, and then the car was right out there on the tarmac, dwarfed by huge transport planes. We headed for a small white airplane standing alone. The guy came to a stop about a yard from the bottom of the airplane steps. I climbed.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?